I'm Dorothea and I'm a realtor here near Rogue River. I'm retired here, kind of. It's the most beautiful spot. And I moved about 14 times or thereabouts. And I thought I'll make a video about a little park that's in our cute town, because I was always scrambling to find a nice spot to walk in the evening or morning or walk the dog. So I really thought it would be a great idea to have a walk in a park, and I tell you a little bit about it. Thank you. We'll see you at the end. So I grew up in Berlin, Germany, and then I moved to Hamburg to work at Unilever, and then I got bored and lived in the United States for a while. As you can see, all the polka dots, and I got licensed in all those states, so I've been around. But I also lived on the Oregon coast, which I absolutely loved. Oregon has the I-5 going in a north-south direction, but in Grants Pass it gets a kink. And the kink goes from east to west, or west to east, whatever it is. It goes sideways. At any rate, we lived there on the coast for 15 years, where I made my real estate license in 1999. So now here, where the I-5 makes a turn from west to east, it starts out in the west with Grants Pass, and then there is Rogue River, my favorite little city. Then there is Gold Hill, which is smaller, but that's where the post office is. And then on the right, on the farther east, then it turns south again, and it goes to Costco and Medford and Ashland and all that. So as I-5 goes horizontal, it follows the Rogue River from one side of the Cascades to the other. And then it goes south into the Rogue River Valley. You can see it's densely forested and it's very hilly, and the city of Rogue River is sitting right in the middle, and it's quite protected from the outside world. Here we are in Rogue River, and all the blue dots show the homes sold during the last year. And you can see downtown is right by the river, north of the river, and I will show you around in a minute. Here is the layout of our little city. There are about 2,400 people living there. And when you come, you should stay at the Best Western, which is south of the city. And today I would like to introduce you to Palmerton Park, so you have a nice place to walk. So now we are driving around a little bit. So this is North Evans Creek. Evans Creek is a tributary for Rogue River, and there are a lot of nice homes. Most of them have a little bit of acreage with it, and nice yards and gardens and trees, and the valley narrows as we go farther north, but you can see all the beautiful gardens people have with fruit trees, and there's irrigation. So if you come from a drier country, this is nice to see that somebody's spraying water around. I was really happy to see that when I moved from Arizona. And this little trailer park here is straight across from Palmerton Park, which I'm going to introduce you to, so you have a nice place to take the dogs for a walk, or just go running. I always find that interesting that people run around the highways and smell all the fumes when they could have a park. And here is a parking lot for the park. There are 95 different trees in this park. It's very beautiful and it's well taken care of. It was originally just 5 acres of not much of anything. It belonged to a family, Skevington or some such, and they sold it in 1920 to Mr. Palmerton. And Mr. Palmerton traveled all over the world and got 95 different shrubs and trees and had a beautiful nursery going there. And in 1966, I guess he had too many birthdays, and sold his nursery to the city of Rogue River. And the city of Rogue River did a wonderful job. They made an arboretum out of it, and you see here there are paved little walkways and for bicycles and strollers and such, wheelchairs. There is a nice restroom there, that big building you just saw. And they irrigate everything. Everything stays green year round, pretty much. It's really well taken park. So, and there are no vagrants, or nowadays it's all the homeless problem, but we don't seem to have any. I never saw anybody, so I asked a local, and he said, yes, well, we had a vagrant here in 2018. Somebody sat on the front of the porch of the church, and he was looking for a job, and he slept there by the dumpsters on the church ground. I said, so what happened to him? He says, well, I got him a job as my uncle, and he had a farm, so he's working on the farm. So anyway, that was the only homeless person he could think of. And here are some picnic tables. It has a roof over it, and there are more picnic tables, so you can have a birthday party for whoever with children. Children really like it there because there's a nice playground there. It's well equipped. There used to be a swing set also, so I don't know what happened to that. I didn't see it. But anyway, there are little barbecue stands, and there's an electric outlet. And yeah, there's usually the playground is swarming with kids, but I was there early in the morning, so it was too early for anybody else. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the big attraction of this video. You will see there's a big tree that got chopped down, and when I came to the park, there was a truck parked there in front of the old stump. Spallino Chainsaw Art, and this is Mr. Spallino with his project. He carved this beautiful old stump into an art project. It's so beautiful. Look at that big tree, and there is what he came up with. He said he's just doing it as he goes along, the ideas come to him. So he had started with the big pine cones on top, and now he also carved an owl on top of this little root pair there, and it looks like really beautiful. And on the other side he put in 2 bears. They're climbing up there. It's hard to see because I was there in the morning and this is facing west, so but you can see the owl sitting there quite clearly. And I'll zoom in here on the bears. There they are. It's so cute. What a great job, just with a chainsaw. It's so amazing. Some people really know what they're doing. It's fabulous. I have trouble drawing a little guy with just sticks. Yeah, beautiful bear. I have a better photo here at the end of this video. So nice. And there's a little seat even. I mean, there are seats everywhere if you can't walk very far. This is a park for you. There's benches every which way, and nice vistas. You can see the mountains, and of course, the river down below. It's quite nice. So, and then on another note, when I came back from this park, back on the parking lot, I didn't have my truck locked. So I just looked at my phone and I opened the truck door and I said, well, that's odd. I don't remember leaving a towel on the console, and I looked around some more. I says, well, this is not my truck. So somebody else left their truck open. So in other words, the crime rate is not very heavily represented over here. So this is has a Kiwani plaques. So apparently the Kiwanis have something to do with this park. And there's a drinking fountain. Look at this nice mosaic on the bottom. That looks so nice. Everything is just really cool about this park. It's really fun to walk there. There are trash cans everywhere, so you can pick up after your doggy. There are also free doggy bags right at the parking lot, so you can stock up before you go there. And you can just sit there in the shade and enjoy yourself. So there, in the distance, you see a suspension bridge. And that is named after the original owners of this lot, Skevington. And there is a piece of that river. The river is really nice because it is shallow and is clear and clean. It has a little bit of a sandy beach right there. And so of course the kids and dogs, and they just love it. Also, they have all these beautiful trees around, which is very nice. And they're all over town, beautiful trees. But also the little hills and mountains. Scientists tell us that the North American continent and mainly Oregon soaked up a whole bunch of Pacific islands. That's why they don't find any dinosaur bones in Oregon, because the mainland was roaming with dinosaurs. Oregon was busy collecting volcanic islands in the Pacific. And so even in the northeast of Oregon, they find coral reefs and such. It's pretty amazing. And all these shallow-looking hills, they look so harmless. They all used to be volcanoes. And there's an RR, and written down as a high school students repaint this RR every year, making sure it shows up nicely for the little airplanes that want to land around here. Our big airport is in Medford, of course, for the commercial flights. Yeah, so the volcanoes, of course, they cook out all kinds of stuff out of the crust. So there is the Applegate Ava, it's called. It's the Applegate Valley that has all those vineyards. And the Applegate Ava, that is a volcanic rock, or is also in Napa Valley, they have the same kind of a Ava, they call it. And that brings out the best in grapes, I suppose. So that's where all the vineyards are. Actually, I have a winery for sale if you're interested. Yeah, here we are at the other side of the bridge, and there are tennis courts you can rent. And you can see how this beautiful suspension bridge is anchored down. It washed out in 1997, but I guess it must have been a lot lower then. And now they built it up high in 2001, so it's about 25 years old now and still in a very good shape. And from there you can see the river and the hills, and the other side is a bit of a park also. And there's a little bit of white water there. The water runs over some rocks on its way to the Rogue River. Of course, as you probably know, the volcanoes also cook out gold and uranium and all kinds of treasures. So the gold especially, of course, was of interest. And the joke goes that the gold going from California coming north, the gold stopped there. They draw the horizontal line and the ore gone. So there's no more gold up there in Oregon. But they were mistaken. And they did find a lot of gold. Actually, Gold Hill is named after a hill full of gold. It was a quartz mountain laced with gold. They took down the whole mountain, and they found nuggets, 11-pound nuggets. Can you imagine? Pretty amazing. So the good old days, and had those big dredges up and down the little creeks, and they were just flooding the creek so they could float the dredges up there from the Rogue River. Pretty amazing stuff. So yeah, but we are just about done here with our park. Now you have a pretty good idea where you can go for a walk. And what is nice, there are no weeds with seeds that get stuck in the fur of your dog. That's the problem on our property. We have foxtail and all, and hound's tongue and all little sticky stuff. So my dogs have to wear a suit when they go outside in the backyard, because that way we keep the seeds at bay and I don't have to brush so much. So we are back at the parking lot, and this is where I got lost in somebody else's truck. So now we're going to take a tour around town. This is really nearby. There's a little cul-de-sac here, and I was snooping around for garage sales. There's a church, and they have a community garden. And the community garden grows food for the community center, and you can pick up the food on Tuesdays if you so desire, which is really nice. They have more little houses, and you can see everything is clean and neat. A pretty cool deal. Come and get it. Well, I'll dare you. Take the plunge, relocate, move, downsize, upsize, and subscribe to my channel. Hope to see you soon. Thank you very much for watching the whole darn thing. I appreciate it. Now, since you watched the whole movie, you might want to read a book. Buying a Home. I wrote that one, and I also wrote, Selling a Home. This way, that way. Selling secrets you can't afford to miss. So you can read those books on my website for free. It's online, and all you have to do is go to rogueriverrealestate.com, and then you just click on it, and for the price of your email address, which will float to the bottom of my hard drive, I'm just gonna sit there get bored. Anyway, you can read it there and see what you can find out. What it takes to buy a home successfully and to sell a home successfully and quickly for the right price. You'll find it there. Okay, well, see you next time. Thanks for watching.